Guys, welcome to Hunting the Rut Hotline. It's Thursday night again, and we've got an exciting show today. And we're going to do something a little bit different today. What we're going to do today, we're going to have a show. As you guys know, this show is sponsored by the 1/10 of 1% Club by Top Secret Deer Set. And that's kind of a unique deal, the 1/10 of 1%. Literally, those are the guys and the ladies that is able to get a 26-ounce bottle of reserve. There's 12,000 bottles, thus 12 million deer hunters, thus the 1/10 of 1% Club. Today, we're going to highlight, and this show is going to be from people that's in the club calling in and having questions. It's going to be a good time, guys. You get to see what these guys are participating in, listen to their questions as they're hunting all over the country. In fact, I think we got one old boy that's actually in the woods, actually doing some scouting, that's going to call us from the woods. So stay tuned. We'll be back in just one moment. We'll kick this show off.
From Don Bell, the founder of Code Blue, comes Top Secret Reserve Doe Esters, the finest doe esters ever collected. Top Secret oxygen-free collection process is a complete generation above Code Blue. Our patent-pending collection process means no ammonia and no ammonia smell. At a limited quantity of 12,000 bottles, only 1/10 of 1% of hunters will be lucky enough to add Top Secret to their arsenal. Visit TopSecretDeerSet.com today and join the 1/10 of 1% Club.
Welcome back to Hunting the Rut Hotline with Don Bell. Hey, you got questions and we're going to have some answers, and tonight we're going to talk. Let me start off by tonight talking about, we're getting a lot of questions in on scrapes and rubs, but rub urination, to really kind of understand what that is. Rub urination is, and it doesn't matter, guys, if it's a northern deer, southern deer, wherever a whitetail is, rub urination, most people think that that's when a buck is rubbing the back hocks or tarsal glands, and that is true. There's two kinds of rub urination. A doe does it 365 days a year. In fact, when a doe, research shows that from the time that a doe first gets up out of her bed, within 30 minutes, that doe is going to rub urinate. It's sort of like putting her makeup or putting her identity on for the day, getting ready for the day's work out there. But now, what happens when a mature doe comes in contact with another doe, and that doe is more dominant, she will rub urinate again in the presence of the second doe to show status. Now, that rub urination happens by does, happens 365 days a year. So that is a constant going on, but it is a status symbol showing the status of the one doe dominance over another doe. Now, when we come to fall rub urination, which is what most people are accustomed to, in fact, most people find it amazing that a doe rub urinates, let alone rub urinates 365 days a year, and let alone does it within the first 30 minutes of the time she gets up before she actually leaves her bedding area. So what we're going to do now is take it and break down rub urination fall. Now, what happens on the back leg of a deer, and we're going to go into future shows, we're going to go into all the different glands that's on a white-tailed deer. But the tarsal gland that's located on the back inside leg of the deer, this is one of the most important glands. This is the glands that a buck is going to use in conjunction with urine when his neck is swollen to be able to mark a scrape. And that's the scrape he's going to check. Here's the way that happens. When a buck's neck starts swelling, what a buck's going to do, and a buck primarily only rub urinates during the fall. So here's what's happening. In fact, this is already happening all over the country. Today we're sitting here in the first part of November, and bucks are not only have made rub lines and has secondary frustration scrapes, but they're also already having primary scrapes. And in fact, here next week we'll actually be up in Illinois hunting, which will be the prime time for the peak of the rut in Illinois. So what happens is, that old boy, what he does, he comes in, his neck starts swelling. And what he's going to do, he's going to rub urinate. He's going to urinate over his tarsal glands, which is on the back inside leg of the deer, both sides. The tarsal is like a tuft of hair. And what it does, it secretes a musk. And so the ruddy odor is a combination of the urine when his neck is swollen. It is a combination of the urine over the tarsals. He'll rub them together like this. And as the urine goes over the tarsal glands, the tuft of hair, as he does it, it stains the gland with the urine, with the musk. And then as he does that, it goes down onto the ground, into the scrape. And as we talked about before, this year when you kill your buck, spread the hoof, you're going to get a waxy type substance located in between the hoof. The sole purpose of that is called an interdigital gland. It's sort of like your fingerprint. So when Buck, big boy, comes in there and he puts his rutting odor in that master bedroom or that primary scrape, or he turns a secondary scrape into a primary, which is always underneath that overhanging limb, this is the one he's going to mark. And this is the one he's going to, once he marks it, this is the one he's going to check. This is the one he's wanting to come in and have does come in. So here's what he does. Old neck swells up. That old boy's going to come into one of these little secondary scrapes. He's going to open it up underneath an overhanging limb. He's going to urinate over his tarsals. He's going to rub his back legs together like this. And when he does, the urine goes over the musk, mixes with it onto the scrape, and then he paws the ground with his hoof, which is the interdigital. So the rutting odor of a whitetail buck consists of three things. When his neck is swollen, it is the urine with the musk from the glands plus the interdigital gland put in the scrape. Now, guys, he does that for a very simple reason. He does it for two reasons. First reason is he marks his primary scrape. This is the one you want to hunt. This is his master bedroom. Now he's had these secondary scrapes, but this is the one he's going to check. He marks it for two reasons. First reason is to tell every doe in the area, baby, come see me. He's designated his master bedroom within his house, and now he's wanting all the does in the area to come in and come to this scrape. Now what's fascinating about that is when a doe comes into a scrape, so let's say this is the scrape right here, and the wind's going this way. A doe will go downwind to the scrape, and she smells the scrape. And the reason she does that is she likes what she smells. She may not. But if she does, she's going to come into that primary scrape or that master bedroom, and she's going to do one or two things. She's either going to come in and urinate in that scrape, and or she's going to come in and urinate and put droppings in it. The droppings in the urine is sort of like a calling card, business card of the doe. So that old doe will come in. If she likes what she smells, she's going to come in, she's going to urinate, and she's going to put droppings in it. And the process of doing that, she'll go off over here in bed, and then she'll hang around. She'll either hang around and browse, or she'll bed. Now think about this. That old boy marked that primary scrape to tell all the does in the area to come in. Now, if the wind's going this way, which way will a buck check his scrape? He's going to check it downwind. Now think about that. Now why would he do that? Why is he going downwind from his master bedroom to check a scrape? The reason for it is a buck does not have to come right up and look in a scrape. What he can do is he can go down and wind and smell, and what he's checking for is a calling card of that receptive doe, which is either the urine deposit in the scrape and or the droppings. So as a result of that, he comes in and he trails the old doe up sitting over there, and he breathes her. So what happens is, as he does that, that is the cycle of the master bedroom. Second reason, and one of the most important reasons for you to be able to hunt not just any buck, but a good buck. Any buck comes into a primary scrape and he smells a receptive doe, that boy is happy as he can be. I mean, life's good. He's throwing pedals, he's skipping through the woods, he's happy. But he's mad, and this is what you want to get him on, is when the second reason he marks that primary scrape, he does it to tell every buck in this area to stay out of here. All right? So now when he goes downwind and smells it, it's like coming home smelling Old Spice. He throws caution to the wind. Therefore, guys, buck urination is primarily, with bucks, a fall phenomenon. Starts early. The tarsals get darker and stainer generally as the bigger the buck is, the more mature, the more darker, the more he's going to urinate and stain over it. As a result of that, the second one is does rub urination. They do it 365 days a year. Guys, listen, hang on to this. Give us some calls. Think about what we're talking about, and I hope that helps. We're fixing to, I believe we're fixing to take our first caller, and let's see who we got on the phone, guys. We got somebody on the phone up there? All right, hang on right here. Don Bell.
Hey, yes, sir. This is Brad Watson.
Brad, how you doing, man?
Doing great today. How are you?
I'm doing good. Brad, where are you located?
I am in Dothan, Alabama.
Dothan, Alabama. Well, all righty. Why aren't you in the woods today?
Working today.
You're working today. Well, what kind of question you got today for us?
Well, what I was wondering was, what type of deer grunt or doe bleach should I use in combination with your different scents during the pre-rut and the peak of the rut?
Well, Brad, that's a good question. And the number one call used in the industry is a tending grunt. And Brad, it really doesn't matter who makes it. It doesn't matter if it sounds like a young buck or a big buck. A lot of guys get hung up on they wanting their grunt to sound like a big buck, or they want their buck urine to be from a dominant buck. Brad, by any chance, are you married?
No, sir.
You are or you're not?
I'm not.
Okay, well, let's just say you are. And you happen to come home tonight and you smell Old Spice cologne, you flip the light on. Do you care if you find Pee Wee Herman or Superman?
It doesn't matter.
It don't matter, and it'd break my heart if I found Pee Wee Herman, if you know what I'm talking about. At least it hurt my pride anyway. So what happens then? It doesn't matter, Brad, if you find a teenager or a mature man. It doesn't matter who, but where. So that grunt doesn't have to be sound like a big buck. Now, having said that, you want to use buck urine with it. And you want to use buck urine. Season opened here last weekend. You bow hunt?
Yes, sir.
You want to be using buck urine every day of the year. And you want to grunt with it. Now, as you go, all those guys out there listening to us, Brad, I don't know if you heard just a second ago, but next week we'll be in up north of Pike County up in Illinois hunting, and that's the peak of the rut there. Historically, the peak of the rut's going to be somewhere around the 7th to the 15th of November in the Midwest. Very pronounced. Down here where we live, we're over here in Pensacola, and I live in South Alabama. Of course, you're over there in Southeast Alabama in Dothan. The peak of the rut here is not really, most people will tell you it's the last week in January. Realistically, it's probably the first, second week in February. But so get your grunt, use some buck urine. Now, the second question you had was regarding, was it a bleat call?
Yes, sir. A doe bleat.
If you're going to use a doe bleat, and that is effective, and it's effective early in the year, like right now, archery season. And so what happens is, now you can use a regular doe bleat, or you can use an estrus call. Which one are you using? A doe bleat, just a fawn bleat, or fawn distress? Yeah, because all you're doing then is telling them there's another deer in the area. A lot of guys, have you ever used a fawn distress call?
No, sir, I have not.
Those got real popular a few years back with the can, the crying, the fawn distress.
Right.
And, I try to explain to people, that's sort of like, let me go back to being married. Let's say you're married, and let's say you've been gone 2 or 3 weeks, and you're back home, and you're going to spend a little quality time with mama. You know what I'm saying? So everything's clicking along there pretty good, and you have to have a young baby, just an infant, down the hall in a bed. Now, things clicking along there pretty good, hadn't seen mom in a few weeks, and everything's going, had a little quality time. And all of a sudden, down the hall in the dark, that baby starts crying. Now, I don't care what you telling mama, and you telling mama, look, let that baby cry, it's good for its lungs. I don't care what you telling mama, guess what mama's going to do?
Mama's going to go.
Mama's going to get up and go to that baby. Now, so what'll happen is, and that's the same theory in a fawn distress. Use a fawn distress, any doe will go to another fawn in distress. Therefore, the buck's going to follow the doe. He could give a rat's butt about that fawn. Is that a word? Rat's butt. He could care less about that fawn. He's going to follow the doe. And so, but to answer your question is yes. A doe bleat early season, great for archery. But once you start getting into pre-rut and just before the peak of the rut, you want to be using, hey, if I had a choice, I'd be using a grunt with buck urine. And Brad, I do it every day of the year. Now listen to what I'm telling you. I'm telling you, I preach this and preach this. Do use your buck urine every day of the year. Once he starts trailing does here in Alabama where you are, what part of Alabama do you hunt in?
It's more North Alabama. It's off about 20 toward Georgia.
Okay. Well, once you start seeing bucks running does, Christmas on, then you start using your estrus. But you never quit using your buck urine. Once you start your buck, don't pour them together. I had a guy the other night said that he wanted to know did he need to pour them together. Well, you don't want to pour them together. You can pour them side by side, or you can trail buck in with the estrus. Do you use a grunt call?
No, sir, I don't.
Oh, man.
I was thinking about getting one and learning how to use it.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, look, it ain't hard. Just get you a grunt call and, just get you a good, just a good sounding grunt. And when you grunt, you have it got to be loud. You just go. And most of the time, listen, have you ever seen a bull in a pasture beller at a cow? If you see old bull standing there and he's talking to cows down there and he's bellering at them. Now, you can almost tell if a buck is walking because you'll hear a buck do this. And what he's doing is he's grunting, but if you can imagine holding your breath and going and go to walking,
right?
It wouldn't go it'd go as you walk because you jar.
Right.
And so the little quick stuff, the little quick hits, you can almost bet that buck's he's walking, he's moving.
Okay.
But if he's bellowing at him, kind of a longer one, he's standing there and you can almost see that doe cutting him around. But get you a grunt call, man, because you're going to get up in the tree and you got deer feeding past you. You grunt, it's going to put him down wind because he's wanting to smell what he's hearing. That's the reason why you got to be using buck urine.
Okay.
Hey, Brad, didn't you just recently become a club member?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, listen, we're glad to have you part of the team, and get us some pictures this year out there and tell everybody about the show and call back in.
We'll do it. Hey, I appreciate it.
Hey, man, Brad, thank you for calling in, man. You be safe out there.
Thanks,
Hey,
sir.
send us some pictures.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, guys, let's hear it. We'll be back in just one moment. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to go again. Be back in just one moment.
Rise and shine. It's time to hunt.
Alrighty, guys, back with Hunting the Rut Hotline. You got questions, we got some answers. And guys, tonight we're specializing in club members. Tonight's all about the 1/10 of 1% club members. We got them calling in from around the country. We got Facebook questions coming in. Hey guys, if you want to be part of the 1/10 of 1% club, guys, all you got to do is right below me right there, just scroll down. If you're on a phone, scroll it, or if you're watching on just a regular screen, you'll be able to see it below it. It says 1/10 of 1% club. Hit that button, it'll take you to the website, and hey, you can join the most prestigious club in the country, okay? So guys, look here, hang tight, we're fixing to go to another call. I believe we got a caller on the phone. Is that right, guys? Alrighty. Let's see who we got. Don Bell.
Hey, Don, it's Gabe Hanna.
Gabe, how you doing, man?
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. Gabe, by any chance, were you in the woods a few minutes ago?
I was.
Man, don't you know you're supposed to be working?
I work tomorrow.
You work tomorrow. You up in there in
Yes, sir.
Hendersonville, Tennessee.
Correct. I work for the fire department there, so I'm off. I work 24 tomorrow, then I'm off all weekend.
Man, that's a job to have during hunting season, isn't it?
It works out pretty well.
I bet it does. Hey, where's Hendersonville?
It's about 20 minutes north of Nashville on just off 65.
Okay. You're pretty close to Bowling Green?
About an hour.
Are you still okay? You still well
an hour
south?
south.
Okay. All right. 10-4. Well, you're north of the belt. Are you
You what
north? Are you north of the belt coming around Nashville there?
Yes.
What's that belt?
Riley Parkway.
Briley. Yeah. Okay. You're north of that. Okay. Well, look, man, we're glad to have you on the phone. And did you find any deer? You doing all this scouting out there?
The scrapes are really, really popping up quick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, it is and that's happening all over the country. Of course, now we're still in pre-rut, and where you are, but we're starting to go into the beginning of the peak of the rut. You know, I was telling caller Brad just a few minutes ago over here in Enterprise, Alabama, that next week we're going to be up in Illinois. Of course, up in central part of Illinois, or in the Midwest for that matter, you know, the peak of the rut historically is November the 7th to about the 15th. Do you bow hunt or gun hunt?
I bow hunt most of the time, but I do all year long. I bow hunt.
Well, have you already been hunting this season?
I hunted a week. Let's see, 2 weeks ago I hunted for 5 days, but it rained every single day, which when that low pressure system was just had stalled out over Tennessee, and it rained every day, and it was miserable. We saw a lot of deer. We only killed one, but it was real warm and very wet, and it just made for miserable conditions.
Yeah, you know, I tell people, in fact, we looked at the weather forecast for next week, and it's supposed to rain while we're up in Illinois, but you know, deer still got to move. They still got to eat.
That's right.
You know, they just don't go somewhere and shut up in a room. You just got to pay attention to all those things. And so, you know, that's the reason why this show is so important, because people have the ability to understand what makes a deer do what they do, when they do it, and why they do it. You know, like you talked about a few minutes ago, all these scrapes. The scrapes that you're seeing this morning, are they typically on the same area that you saw scrapes last year? Are you hunting the same piece of property?
This year, no. I'm hunting brand new property, and I just scouted 2 places this morning, and both these scrapes are, I think 2 of them were made this morning just out of my sight, and the other one was made, they both are probably within the last 12 to 14 hours. All 3 of the ones I found this morning were probably within the last 12 hours.
Are they?
I think.
Are they close together, or you think these is different areas? This is different areas. You think it's the same buck?
It's 2 different areas. 2 of them are in one area, and it's about a half mile apart. And one of them is in another area. The unfortunate thing is I call him a beach. He's a beacher because he's doing it all under beech trees.
Yeah, yeah.
And now it could be the same deer. Like I said, it's only a half mile apart, measuring on my GPS. You know, it could be, but I'm going to say it's not the same deer. But
is this buck working the fields along the tree lines, or is he just in the hardwood?
Both these are in deep woods.
Yeah. Okay. That's how I like.
One of them is on a finger long ridge between 2 large clear cuts. It's probably 400 yards between the clear cuts. The other one is on the edge of an old clear cut that's probably 10 to 15 years old. And as soon as you come out of it, the clear cut's old enough you can walk through it. There's very little big enough in it to climb with a portable tree stand.
Yeah.
But as soon as you get out into big timber again, the scrape was right there, right on the edge, where we. He's
inside of the big timber, making it along a break, along the
right.
Yeah. You know, deer love to walk a break. Meaning, when I mean a break, you know, an old clear cut, standing timber, or you know, just anywhere there's a break in hardwood to pine, anywhere there's a break, they like to walk that. But you know, look, I like this. This reason I asked if it was in the timber or if he's along the. You know, a lot of times, hunters, we tend to kind of be lazy and we want to hunt the fields and we want to hunt the logging roads. But once you get an old boy that's making a rub line down through big timber like that or hardwood bottom, I kind of like that. because that old boy, he's staying out away from all that activity up in them fields and stuff, and that's one I'd be hunting. Have you?
I plan on hunting one of those two spots Saturday morning. But now the question I have for you is this: I bought the reserve. I got it yesterday. So, how long before in those scrapes, before I hunt, would you apply that? Would you apply it today? Would you apply it tomorrow? I can't hunt tomorrow. I can't be there tomorrow.
Yeah,
so either apply it today or Saturday morning when I get there.
I'd apply it while you're there.
Okay.
Somewhere along the line, we as hunters, and I think a lot of it has to do to a certain amount to some of the seminars and stuff through the years people do, is that they think it's a good thing to go put the urine out before they get there. Well, you know, there's deer already there. They think that they put the urine out, the deer is just going to hang around there. But think about it. When you put urine out, let's take Top Secret, the reserve, and that's the best this industry's ever seen. The first time you open that, Gabe, is the first time it's going to see oxygen, right? So let's say you right now you saw that old boy make that scrape, right? I mean, let's say an hour ago when you were in the woods, you saw him literally make the scrape and he left. And you got all excited. So you go back this afternoon and put estrus urine in it. Now, that urine starts ammoniating right then. It starts breaking down. So you come hunt tomorrow morning. Time tomorrow morning gets here, that urine's already broken down, and it told him there was a doe there, but that doe's not there now because the urine is already ammoniated down. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So what happens is, and what I try to tell people, is use the urine while you're there. Now, when you do that, then you have a doe there while you're there. Now, let's say, well, even with the reserve, you take the reserve, you put it out, you're hunting in the stand. Now, when you come back this afternoon, you want to put fresh urine out. And the reason you want to do that is because you want to make sure that you got another urine there that's not 4 hours old, but it's fresh. Now, we introduced a product called this season. In fact, really and truly, I think really the only ones that's really, for the most part, got that is club members. Isn't it, Rusty?
Yep.
Yeah, it's primarily club members. It's called a deer bladder. It's like an IV bag. In fact, here it is. It's this thing right here. And what this is, it allows you to drip while you're in the stand. So if we hang this up right now, and I don't know if you can see this or not, Gabe, but it's an IV bag. You drip it, and imagine that IV drip. It drips in the drips in the scrape right now. When you do that, that meant that's the first time it hits oxygen. So that old doe's there right now. So let's say you have it drip 1 hour from now. Every hour it's going to drip. Well, 1 hour from now, you got a fresh doe there. If you don't, when you put that urine out and you wait an hour, then that urine's an hour old. But certainly, if you hunt this morning, you want to freshen that back up when you come back this afternoon. How do you put your scent out? Gabe?
I've done it different ways, different years. Usually I'll just carry a bottle of it and spray it on the ground. And sometimes I've used a dripper.
Yep.
And had decent results with a dripper with a camera.
Yeah, the dripper's great. And listen, this deer bladder thing allows you to drip it while you're there. But let's say, and for those that are listening to our conversation, a lot of people, Gabe, and I've done it through the years, I'm sure you have, is they'll take a film canister and you'll put cotton in it. And they'll hunt this morning. Well, when you go and hunt this afternoon, what you need to do is to take that cotton out and put fresh cotton in and put fresh urine on it. And because if you don't, let's say you did it at daylight this morning and you go back this afternoon at 3 o'clock, well, that urine is already 3, that urine's already 9 hours old. So it's already 9 hours into the ammoniation process. So when you come back this afternoon, just take you some fresh cotton, put it in, put you some fresh urine on it. Now the reserve will allow you to do that. Gabe, did you get the reserve combo? Did you get a scent saver?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. For those that are listening in, this is the Scent Saver. And so, have you opened your reserve yet?
No, sir, I'm not.
All right, here's the way you do that. The big bottle, and I don't know if you can see this, but if you don't, you know you got your big bottle. You can take the foil off of it, Gabe, and when you do, it's got a cork in it. It's called a T-cork, and literally you can take it out with your hand. So when you take that cork out, you can throw that away. You don't need it anymore. The big bottle comes with what we call a vacuum plug, and that's what it looks like right there. All right, so when you open the big bottle, it's got a plug. Then you have a little bottle with a plug with a pump. So let's you and I, we're going to go hunting in the morning, okay? So we're going to open your big bottle that you just got when? Yesterday?
Yes.
Okay. Open your big bottle. We're going hunting in the morning now. You open your big bottle, you fill your little bottle up, you plug it, you pump the little bottle out 2 or 3 times, plug the big bottle, pump it out till the pump clicks. And listen to this. You can hear it. I don't know if you can see this, but those that's viewing it can see it. As I pump this, you'll hear it click. Can you hear that clicking?
Yes.
That clicking says that I've maxed that bottle out. So that says there's no oxygen in that bottle. The little bottle, Gabe, you can do it 2 or 3 times and you're fine because you ain't got much space. But once you pour out of the big bottle, pump the big bottle till you hear it click. That way, as you further you go down, you make sure you've got all the oxygen out of your big bottle. All right? So,
Okay.
And the way to look at this is the big bottle is like a filling station. Are you still in the woods or are you on your way home?
Now I'm on my way home now.
All right. The filling station you just passed is the big bottle. The Scent Saver system, the 3-ounce bottle, the plug and the pump is your car. So we open the big bottle, we fill our car up, we pump it out, pump the big bottle out, we go hunting. You and I are in the woods tomorrow morning, and you got your 3-ounce bottle. So what you do is it's got a little nipple on the top of it, and those that's watching, you can see that. You can push it or pull it, Gabe, in any direction, and this is what it'll do. It'll go ch. And now you can open it without it popping. You use it just like you normally would. Whether you're using it a dripper or whether or not you're using it on a scent drag, Gabe, or no matter how you're using it, just like you normally would. You re-plug it with a plug. You reach up and get your little pump, 2, 3 pumps. There's no oxygen, listen. So now, in between using it, you can actually keep the urine without oxygen. Now when you run out of gas in the little bottle, Gabe, you stop at that filling station, which is your big bottle, fill your car back up, pump the car back out, the little bottle, pump the big bottle out, go hunting. So that way you never have to take the big bottle in the woods with you, but you keep it pumped out as you do the little one. Does that make sense?
Yes.
What I want you to do is go up there in Tennessee and kill us a big old buck and send us a photograph of it. And hey, for everybody, remind everyone, and Gabe, you just became a club member. If you go to that Facebook page that just the club members can get to, we're currently running a big buck contest. We'll have a big buck contest just for the club members for the month of October. In fact, you've got, what's today?
30th.
So tomorrow's the 31st. All right, so tomorrow we're going to announce a winner. So somebody's going to have killed the biggest buck in the club between now and tomorrow. So when that happens, someone's going to win a big buck contest for October. Then we'll do one for November for club members. We'll do one for December, January, and believe it or not, Gabe, down here in Alabama and Florida, we're still in season through the end of February.
Wow.
Ain't that something? Make you want to come down here? Make you want to come visit, won't it?
Absolutely.
Well, look, man, we appreciate you calling in, and tell somebody about the club, and I hope this has helped. And by all means, tell people about the show and tell them they can come in and listen every Thursday night and ask questions live.
I will do that. I appreciate you answering my question.
Hey, man, you bet. And we appreciate you being a club member, and anytime you have any questions, you let us know. And call back in and tell the friends to call in.
All right. Thanks, sir.
Gabe, thank you, sir. Appreciate you calling in.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
You bet. Thank you, sir. All righty, guys. I think we're going to take just a couple of Facebook questions, and let's see what we got here. Gary wants to know. Gary has a line of scrapes, and he's saying that they're all active, and he wants to know to pick the best line, which has the most activity and offers you the best shot. Here's what you want to do. What Gary's asking, I think what Gary's asking here, in fact, it's sort of like what Gabe just talked about. He found all these scrapes down this wall, down this line. Now, all of them, he's seeing a lot of them being active. So how do you hunt that? Well, the first thing you do, let's see here, we got an incoming call, guys? All right, maybe not. All right, here's what we do. We got us a call coming in. I tell you what, let me catch this call and we'll come right back, man. We got them coming left and right here. Hang on, folks. It's a live show. Don Bell.
Yes, it's Floyd.
Floyd, man, what you doing? I ain't heard from you in a while.
Hey, you know, I'm surprised that I got through on the second time. But,
Well,
you know, the first time I called you, and I kind of told you that old buck was kind of evading me.
well, yeah, I mean, it's been a while back since I hear from you now. Now, Floyd, you up in Virginia?
That's right, West Virginia.
West Virginia.
West Virginia.
By God, West Virginia. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Well, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Hey, you know, I just recently become a club member.
Oh, really? Well, we're glad, congratulations. We're glad to have you part of the 1/10 of 1% Club.
Well, I appreciate it. But let me tell you, the first time when I ordered that stuff, my wife wasn't happy at all.
She wasn't happy because you had deer urine in the house?
She wasn't happy because I spent $100 on a bottle of deer pee.
Well, now it is expensive.
But,
Guys, it is expensive, but it is the finest this industry ever said. Hey, now, Floyd, it is $100, but it's 26 ounces, $3.85 an ounce. So you just need to tell her it's actually really cheap.
I did, and it was worth it when I brought that big buck home too. But
Well, see, there you are now. See, Mama ain't too mad now, is she?
no, she was a lot better after that.
Well, see there. Well, did you use estrus or buck?
I used a buck.
Did you use buck urine? Well,
Yep.
good. Well, man, send us some photographs of it.
I will. Yeah, after I talked to you the last time, and you kept putting that emphasis on using the buck, and I moved my stand down a little bit where when I set that buck out, poured it out, then I was downwind from that, and that made him come in there within range, and well,
That's
he
right.
was on the table. So
You done field dressed to me he's on the table?
that's right. That's right.
Ain't nothing like good eating deer, is it?
They sure ain't.
Does Mama like to cook the deer?
She liked to cook that one.
She liked that a lot. Well, look here. Guys, we keep preaching it, Floyd, we keep preaching it. Buck urine every day you go in the woods. There's a time and place, Floyd, for estrus, and that's during the peak of the rut. Once he makes that primary scrape underneath that overhanging limb, you just can't beat the estrus. But you're hunting the entire hunting season, so you need to start with buck. Use it every day. It's going to start good and it's going to get better. And did you say that you used the buck urine in a scrape?
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you are. Do you grunt?
I did.
Well,
I did, and that made him perk up a little bit.
Yep. You know, a lot of people will use a grunt call, Floyd, and they think it's, they don't want to do it because they sound like a duck or a pig in the woods, and so they really don't think it works. But really, if you don't grunt, you're sitting in the woods and deer are feeding past you and you don't even know they're there. But if you get up in the tree and grunt, you're going to put him downwind, because grunting, all that is an infringement. You're telling him another buck's trailing a duck. And so when you grunt, he's going to go downwind, but he needs to smell that buck urine like I was telling you about. And boy, we hear these testimonies all the time, people coming in saying, I didn't believe you when you first said use buck urine, but it's making a believer out of a lot of folks, and we're glad you're part of that believing. You've been baptized in buck urine now, baby.
Amen. Well, I tell you, I told you about my buddies there at the mill, and I'd mentioned it to them, and
Well,
now they want to try some. So I ordered one of those Scent Saver system things with the bottle,
yeah.
and I told them, I said, I'm gonna order one, and if you want some, I'm gonna charge them for it, cause hey. I'm a buddy, but I ain't that good of a buddy. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, make it a profit center, baby.
That's right. That's right.
Hey, we actually got dealers that's got this stuff, and honest, they won't even sell a customer a big bottle. They sell it to them by the ounce. And you're not the first one that's has made that up. We had a young lady at a show. She was in school. I mean, I guess she was in high school, in college, first early, not real old. And her dad wanted to buy a big bottle, and he was hesitating. And this was at a big consumer show, and the wife kept saying, my Lord, man, $3.95 an ounce, you buy enough of the 1 ounce bottles to pay for that. Get it, be a club member. And he kept hesitating, and his daughter told him, said, look here, Dad, if you don't buy it, I'm going to buy it. And he hesitated, and she looked at me, she said, I'll buy it. And she did, and she's a club member. And so what she did was, I asked her afterwards, I said, what in the world are you going to do with it? She said, I'm going to take it to the club, and I'm going to sell it to my father's buddies that are hunting, to where they're going to pay market price for it, just like buying lobster, man. You want some, I got it, here it is, go hunting with it. So you make a profit center out of it there, Floyd.
I just might do that.
Well, hey, look, man, we appreciate you calling in, and tell all your friends about it. And look, Floyd, tell them, did you get that online? Where did you get your reserve?
Yeah, I bought it online.
All right.
I followed that link on your show that night.
Okay, well, 10-4. Well, tell your friends. All they got to do is go to topsecretdeerscent.com, and they can just hit on the reserve, and it'll take them to the page, and it'll show them how they can either buy it. You got two options in buying it, Floyd. I guess you bought it and had it sent to you.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to wait.
Yeah, well, there you can. What Floyd's talking about, guys, you can hit the website and order it. Like right now, today, you can order it and say, "Hey, send it to me." It's going to go out today to you. Or, and as we've got a lot of people already doing, Floyd, and you can do this too. This way, you can fly under Mama's radar. You can actually go to the website today and order your reserve for 2015, which is next year, and it'll pay for it over 4 payments. And you can say, hey, we want you, Top Secret, we want you to ship it in November, December, October. Whenever you want it next year is when we'll ship it to you. But you can actually order 15 today, and it'll pay for it over 4 payments. So tell Mama and make a great Christmas gift.
I sure will. I sure will. Hey, it's good stuff.
Hey, man, we appreciate you calling in, and tell you all your friends out there and be safe.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Floyd. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
All right, you bet. Oh, Floyd. By God, West Virginia. All right, guys, listen, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to finish this up on some Facebook questions. Be back in just one moment.
From Don Bell, the founder of Code Blue, comes Top Secret Reserve Doe Esters, the finest doe esters ever collected. Top Secret oxygen-free collection process is a complete generation above Code Blue. Our patent-pending collection process means no ammonia and no ammonia smell. At a limited quantity of 12,000 bottles, only 0.1% of hunters will be lucky enough to add Top Secret to their arsenal. Visit TopSecretDeerScent.com today and join the 0.1% club.
All right, guys, we're back, and we're glad to have you back with Hunting the Rut Hotline with Don Bell. Hey, you got questions, we got some answers. And folks, as you can tell, we've been talking to people from all over the country, from Tennessee to, by God, West Virginia. Old Floyd's a hoot there, and you can do like old Floyd. You can slide it under the radar for Mama, or you can go ahead and belly up to the table and get your bottle of reserve and put you some deer meat on the table and make Mama happy. Guys, I want to remind everybody, you can go to the website and get the reserve. All you got to do is go to TopSecretDeerScent.com, or just look below me here. You can scroll down. There's a button. You can hit that button. It'll take you directly to the website, topsecretdeerscent.com, hit the 1/10 of 1% club, and it'll take you to the reserve page. You can buy it, order it, and get it in today for this hunting season, or you can actually, as we already have people doing, especially existing club members, you don't have to be a club member to do this. You can say, you know, I'm not a club member, but I want some for next year. You can go to the website, hit the 4-pay. It'll pay for it over 4 payments, and you can say, hey, ship it to us next hunting season 2015. Pick your month, October, November, December, and we'll make sure that you get your reserve. Nobody can take it away from you once you become a club member. The only way that it can be taken away is that you simply give it up, and when you do, that bottle goes back on the market, and the next Floyd comes along and he gobbles it up. So stay tuned, get it while it's hot, get it while we got it. We're going to take a few more quick Facebook questions. In fact, we're going to try to finish up on old Gary there when old Floyd called in. It's a live show, guys, so we take it as it comes. Gary had asked the question, he has a line of active scrapes. What's the best way to hunt that, and which one to hunt? Gary, if you got a line of active scrapes, and what we're talking about, guys, sometimes you'll have a cluster, and I'm almost sure that's what Gary's probably talking about, that he's got a cluster of scrapes together. And so what you've got is and he's hitting all of them. And so the way I describe it to people is he has a master bedroom, and he's got a sitting room, and he's got a big walk-in bathroom, you know, he's got a his and her closets. He's just got a big old master bedroom. And so, but he's hitting 5, 6, 7, 8 of them right there together. So what I normally try to do, if it's in a short distance there, I try to pick the best setup that I can get, meaning that I get the best one that looks like it's the biggest. Now, I'm talking about if I just come in and I'm just going to sit and I'm fixing to hunt, then I'm going to try to get the one that it looks like it's the most active, but at the same time, where the best setup is. Because if he's working them, you don't want to just be here, you want to be where you got the best tree to get in to be able to take the shot. But if you've got time, then all you got to do is go in there and put you some buck urine in that one of them, pick your best tree, put you some buck urine in it, and leave. When that buck comes back in you come back in the next day, it won't be no problem figuring out which one's the best, because he'll tear that scrape all 2 pieces. He'll widen it out and he'll get deeper with it. So get you some buck urine put in it, or if you're hunting that day, trail you some buck urine in, put your estrus in it, your buck in it, get up in the tree, get a good shot, get you a grunt call, hit the tines just a little bit. But if you're not sure about rattling, grunt, buck will go downwind, you'll be able to get you a shot. Hey, Rick, also a club member, has a question: how to get the nocturnal buck. Hey, much along the same lines that we just talked about Gary, if you got a buck that's nocturnal and he's coming in and tearing that scrape up, you see him tearing it up, you don't see him, you see the results of him. You sit up there and you never see him, but man, the next day you come in, that scrape's tore all to pieces. Get you some buck urine. Come in a day or 2 before, kill your human odor, come in, put the buck urine and scrape and leave. An old buck will come in, he'll tear it all to pieces, and he'll say, hey, get your butt out of here. And what he's doing, he's telling that other buck to get out of his master bedroom. So what you do is you put your buck urine in it and leave. Don't hang around, leave. Kill your human odor, get out of there. That old buck will come in that night, he'll tear it up. Next day, he comes back in, you put buck urine back in his scrape, he's going to come back in that next night, he's going to tear that sucker all to pieces, he's going to say, hey, get your butt out of here. So you do that 2-3 days in a row, and what you're going to do, his nose is going to make him come earlier each time to catch the buck that's in his master bedroom. Just like if you were to come home, smell those spice cologne 2-3 days in a row, you're going to punch out and come home early one night. Well, it's the same thing. Next question, I think Cecil has a question, also a club member. Is it a good idea to leave the drip bag hanging up while you're not hunting, or should you turn it off? I believe, Cecil, if you're asking whether or not a drip bag, I'm assuming that you're asking about the deer bladder. And if you're asking about the deer bladder, the answer to that is you always turn it off when you leave. In fact, if you're going to, let's say you're, Cecil, you're going to hunt this morning. The whole advantage of the deer bladder is that you can drip it while you're there. The only time that you want to put urine in a scrape and you're not hunting it is in the case of the nocturnal buck, what I just said just a second ago, because that's making him come back in closer to it to be able to catch the intruder. Here, as you put the urine into the scrape, you can regulate this, it drips. Each time it drips, it says there's a deer there now, not that there was a deer there later. So when you use a drip, so what you want to do is to take this, drip it while you're there. When you get ready to leave, turn it off. Let's say you're going to go to lunch and hunt that afternoon. Well, you can leave it hanging. And when you come back, turn it back on. You can drip it as slow, as fast as you want. But when you leave that night, take this out with you. I would never leave this in the woods overnight, nor would I, because first of all, you're going to have a deer tear it all to pieces. Or I would never leave it over several days, because you're going to leave it out and then just going to get, heat's going to get to it and it's going to regulate it. So what you want to do is to use this while you're in the woods, regulate it as slow, as fast as you want it. You can leave it in there while you go to lunch, but if you come home that night, take it out, bring it out with you. So get you a deer bladder. Hey, make it drip and says there's a doe there each time it drips. Not there was one there 4 hours ago, but there was one there 10 minutes ago, 15, 20 minutes ago while you're up in the tree. This says a deer is there while you're there, which is what you want to be able to do. Let's see, we got Brett, also a club member. Let's see, Brett Carney. And guys, it looks like that Brett is actually over in South Korea right now. It looks like he's over in South Korea. Something about being back the middle of November. And he's got a question, and his question is, first of all, Brett, man, be careful over in South Korea to come back and hunt. You want to know about reserve estrus, the bladder, foam, estrus, and buck. What's the correct usage on all these? Real simple, real quick. You want to use your liquid. You can use it in your drips. You can use it on your drags. The advantage of the foam is that with the liquid, you need the scent saver system. The scent saver system allows you to use the liquid, be it reserve, buck, or whether it be a 3 ounce. It doesn't matter. Once you open this, you need to put it in the scent saver system. This is a one-time purchase, and Brett, what you want to do, and I see that you also have that. So once you open your urine, your liquid, put it in your scent saver system to where you can vacuum it out in between using it. That way, it preserves it all the way down to the end. So simply take it, open it, use it like you normally would, plug it, repump it, just like you never opened it. So that's the advantage of the liquid with this. You're able to use it in between using it and maintaining no oxygen. The foam, now that's a different animal. The foam, you're able to take this and this, the estrus and the buck, and when you foam it, it's the first time that it hits oxygen. And now, just to show everybody that I'm not totally crazy, those of you can see that right there, it's got an S on it. That means it doesn't have the urine in it, just for the show, because I'm going to show you how to foam it. So what happens is, Brett, when you foam this, the first time it foams is the first time it hits oxygen. So as you foam it, there's the first time it's hitting oxygen. So this, you don't need the scent saver. So the advantage of this is it's got 300 pumps in it, and each time you foam it, it's the first time it hits oxygen, which is a real game changer. Those of you that use and a lot of you do out there, you use a scent drag. This is a drag. You're going to put it on its truck. If you take regular urine, liquid, and put it on it, and you trail it through the woods till you stand. Now, which way, if you start here and you trail over there, which way is it the freshest? All hunters will tell you it's fresher where you started, which is true. So if you started here and you trailed it over there, and I'm a buck, and I come down and hit this trail and I cross it, I'm going to turn and go to your truck, and while you're up in the tree freezing your butt off. So the deer's going to the freshest way. The foam, now, when you foam it here, well, I'm going to start right here. So when you foam it here, you put the foam here, and when you do, it foams here, you 15, 20, 30 yards, and when you do that, you go here, 15, 20, 30 yards, you come here. This is fresher than this is fresher than that. The last one that you foam is always the freshest, which means now you simply make the deer go the way that you're going. And folks, only Top Secret has it in foam. $19.95, 300 usages, 8 ounces. So Cecil, foam, you don't need the scent saver system. And by the way, all of you, not just Cecil, Brett, you can take the buck chasing the doe, you can get out away from your truck, you can foam buck, you can foam doe, buck, doe, 10, 15 yards, buck, doe. As you walk in, you have a buck chasing a doe. And folks, when you grunt, that's exactly what you're saying. You're telling that other boy that a buck is tending a doe. A buck's chasing a doe. Now you have it. And all you got to do is just walk in and foam it in. Buck, estrus, buck, estrus. You got a buck chasing a doe. So let's take us another quick question real quick here. And we have Russell wants to know how to hunt rubs, that he has about 15 in a row, and is it in a good place to hang a tree stand? Well, my God, yes. Man, that's an easy one, baby. And the only answer I can give to you that is you call us and we'll help you come hunt them. Man, if you got 15 in a row, man, you have got yourself a bad boy. But absolutely hang you a stand. But even saying that and kidding, even along that road, and Russell, let's say you got 15 in a row. In all seriousness, I mean, obviously that old buck's tearing it up. He's pretty irritated. He's marking, he's pretty serious with it. There's still along that rub line, somewhere along that rub line, it is still a better place to hang a stand than other places. Because he's not paying attention where to hang a stand, he's just working the line. So what you want to do is go along that line, try to find the best activity, also get the best location to be able to hunt, especially your bow hunting. Russell, I don't know if you're bow hunting a gun. Folks, look, if you're bow hunting, you need to get tight. You know that. So you need that best setup. Of course, if you're gun hunting, you reach out there like AT&T, it really doesn't matter. So, folks, look, we're going to take us a quick break right here, just 1 second, and when we come back, we're going to wind this bad boy up. We'll be back in just one moment with more questions.
From Don Bell, the founder of Code Blue, comes Top Secret Reserve Doe Estrus, the finest doe estrus ever collected. Top Secret oxygen-free collection process is a complete generation above Code Blue. Our patent-pending collection process means no ammonia and no ammonia smell. At a limited quantity of 12,000 bottles, only 0.1% of hunters will be lucky enough to add Top Secret to their arsenal. Visit TopSecretDeerScent.com today and join the 0.1% club.
Guys, we're back. Guys, listen, we're always excited each week. It's Thursday night at 7 o'clock, and that means it's Hunting the Rut Hotline. You have questions, we have some answers, and folks, let's talk. Make plans each week to do this. They're telling me in there, you hear the music. Man, we always don't have time to talk to everybody. Everybody's calling in, and we try to get to all the Facebook and the email questions. If we missed you, then we'll try to regroup and catch you next week. Folks, listen, here's what we want you to do. Tell everybody about the show. Somebody asked us earlier, well, who you telling? Well, heck, man, we're telling everybody. Tell everybody about the show. It's called Hunting the Rut Hotline. You have questions, we got answers, and we're going to talk each week, every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central Time, right here. Tell everybody about it, and we'll see you next week, right here at 7 p.m.